everybody, I'm Amy and I'm going to be answering a question from one of the viewers. Jennifer has asked, I would love to know how to trust that my manifestation will come from a good source. For example, I read about someone manifesting money twice and getting into car accidents. How can I release the desire intention when it's something like money or a new car, etc., and trust that it will come from a good, safe, positive source and not from something negative? Yeah, great question. I have a solution. It's pretty simple, actually. But like I said, my name is Amy. If you like the content on my channel, you can subscribe, hit the bell icon, like the video, share the video, comment. And the answer that you're looking for is you qualify that it happens in a way that pleases you in step one. So let me explain this. When you have fear, that's resistance, and that would be in my step 3. So my 4 steps are: number 1, clarity, desire, you focus on it, focus on having it. Number 2, you double check that you believe it's possible. You let yourself off the hook from thinking you need to believe it will happen. 3, release resistance. This can be an enormous category for a lot of people, but I have a loophole, which is accepting your limiting ideas, thoughts, feelings. It can still happen anyway. And or you can actually flip each piece of resistance. That's also awesome and works. I do it both ways, to be honest. And then my step 4 is to just give your mind the instructions that you want something, that you don't need it. Now, this is interesting. Side note. You can physically need something and manifest it. We're talking about the need, the emotional lack feeling. And when you tell your mind you need something that you don't technically really need, it becomes hyper-focused and sort of obsessive about it, which is counterproductive. So all I do in step 4 is I say, look, I want this. I would love this. I don't need it. It's just a phrase I say to give my mind the instruction. Keep working on it. This is something I desire. Like, this isn't like live or die type of thing. If you are really manifesting something for your physical well-being, go ahead and need it. Seriously, survival stuff is absolutely allowed to be needed. Okay, so back to the question. So the question is, again here, how can I release the desire and intention when it's something like money or a new car and trust it will come from a good, safe, positive place? You qualify. So that's it. That is resistance in step 3. You identified it already. That's great. Now you take it into step 1 and you flip it and you add it to step 1. That's basically the solution. So whenever you're doing your step 1, whether that is a mental diet and affirming, whether that is visualizing, scripting, speaking out loud, all of the above, whatever you're doing, add in a way that pleases me. I get the new car in a way that pleases me. I get the money in a way that pleases me. Now, you may be thinking, but that's the how. No, it's still pretty open. I mean, it's basically like dividing it between negative ways and positive ways, because you wouldn't actually say that you were pleased if it happened in a negative way. And you are in charge. So you get to set that criteria, but you do it in step 1. Now, the other criteria you can add that helps, if you don't want to say in a way that pleases me, although it works really well. I have a video I'll link up above about how to get exactly what you want. Same idea, where when you're manifesting to get exactly what you want, that could include it happened in a really good way, even though you're not specific about how it happens, because remember, the how is none of your business. And that is, I got exactly what I wanted. And that can include, I got exactly what I wanted in a way that pleases me, or you could just say, I got exactly what I wanted. You can use it both ways, play with it, see what you like. But if you're really worried, say, in a way that pleases me. The car, in a way that pleases me. I have the car. It happened in a way that pleased me. I'm so pleased. Now, the other thing you can do is when you are doing step 1, imagine that you are pleased after you have it. So step 1 is focusing on already having it. You don't need to believe it when you're doing this step. You just need to imagine having it. So as you're imagining having it, add in the qualification, hey, I'm really pleased with how it happened. That's it. Just add it in. Also, I have another video I'll link up above. Especially with relationships and manifesting specific people, you can add the relationship, oh, I have the relationship now. It happened in a way that pleases me. I'm so delighted by how it happened. You can say delighted. And it happened in the highest good for everybody involved. So my video is how to use that qualifier of it happened in a way at everyone's highest good. So watch that as well. So I hope that helps. If you use this in step 1, by the time you get to step 3, you shouldn't have that fear anymore. But if you do have the fear, let it be okay, and then just really reaffirm again in step 1. Go back to step 1. No, how can I imagine that this happened in a way that pleased me? And it's not imagining the how, it's imagining the after effect. What would you think? What would you feel? What would you see? What scene could you select that would equate with it happened in a way that pleased you versus it happened in a way that didn't please you or a way that you didn't like? So if you want a new car and you're imagining being in your new car, right? The way that you would imagine that it didn't please you, like that it sucked the way you got it, because again, orchestration and bridge of incidents, you know, it's a free-for-all, so you can set the direction that it's awesome, but it is sort of a free-for-all, just to be honest. So with orchestration and bridge of incidents, you know, it can happen in any sort of way. It usually happens in ways that you don't even think of. But what you're saying is, if I had what I wanted, if I had the new car, would I sit there and think, I have the new car, I'm so happy, but I hated how it happened? You wouldn't visualize it that way. So again, you're solving it in step 1 with your step 1 focus, even though it originated in step 3, which is releasing resistance. It was a form of resistance. So you take what's bothering you in step 3, you either loophole it, which is I can have this thought and it can happen anyway, or in this case, you would want to flip it because you don't want that to happen. You don't want your manifestation to happen and then it happens negatively. You would take that thought and step it into step 1, and flip it there and make it part of your step 1 end result that you're focusing on. So if you're scripting, you would say something like, I have this beautiful new car. I love it. I have this lump sum of money. I love it. I'm so delighted with how it happened. The orchestration was magical and beautiful and delightful. You can say that. That's specific about what your end result is without having to even touch on how it happened. So you can do that. That is okay. So again, just to recap, in a way that pleases me or in a way that delights me, and the highest good for everyone involved, and also I got exactly what I wanted. You can tack that on with it as well. Those are the solutions. And if you still have resistance coming up after you've reshifted your step 1 to include that, you may want to go a little deeper in step 3 and figure out, is there anything underneath that you're really worried about? Like, do you have a family member that you're afraid would pass away if you manifested money? Do you have a history of getting into car accidents? That might need to be addressed a little bit deeper if that's the case, but in most cases, this will solve it for you. So anyway, I hope this helps you guys. Happy manifesting in a way that pleases you, in the highest good of everyone involved, getting exactly what you wanted. These are qualifiers you can tack on in any manifestation you want. So enjoy, have a wonderful day, happy manifesting.